Okay guys, quick update for Bitcoin. So it looks like we're either in a head and shoulders, which is a bearish pattern, and looking at possible downside, or in a falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern, we're looking at some upside. I'm going to show you what point we need to break above this resistance for me to be bullish, and if we break above below a certain price, then I think this will play out as a head and shoulders. And we're going to cover this A1 chart I mentioned in the last video, and I'm going to show you what price, if Bitcoin gets above a certain price, then I'll have to admit I was wrong and this is not a sucker's rally. So if you watched the last video, guys, I talked about this A1 chart. I said if we break this fib channel line, it's possible we're looking at some downside. That is how it played out. I'll link up this video now if you want to check it out. I'm currently in a short right now. I am up $2,600 in profit. This is using $3,000 at 30x. Guys, if you want to sign up for BitGet, my link's pinned in the first comment description. I choose BitGet because they show proof of reserve, so I feel my funds are safe on their exchange. Guys, look into getting a VPN to protect your identity. I use NordVPN. So let's cover this chart, guys. So this is this fib channel line I was talking about. I said when we broke it, it was likely we would have some downside. This was support. We broke that point and we dropped. And if you watched the previous video, I also mentioned that a lot of times what will happen is once you break one of these fib channel lines, you'll come back up and test it as resistance. Notice we got rejected here. We pushed up, tested it again, so that could possibly be a top looking at some downside. We're going to cover some other charts as well, but I did mention that in a previous video. That is why I shorted right here, and I'm still holding my short now. So as far as this falling wedge or possible head and shoulders, let's cover this. So I can tell you that this line right here has been a lot of support and resistance. So if we break above, all right, so if we break above this this yellow trend line, this our resistance on this falling wedge, if we break above it, above 27,800, then we're likely headed to 28,227. Next resistance above is 28,500, and you have a lot of resistance at 28,800. If price drops back down below, right, if price comes back down below this point, right, and even if we break to the upside, as long as we're below 27,800, then I think we have a lot more downside. So that is your key support resistance level to pay attention to. But again, I do think it's very possible because we tested this fib channel line as resistance and got rejected. That could have possibly been a top, so pay attention to that. If you've been following me a while back, this was 3 months ago, I said that this chart right here showed me that it was the start of a sucker's rally. Once we cross this blue ring, I expected us to get a pump. I'll put a link up this video now if you want to check it out. That is this ring right here, right? This blue ring. As soon as we crossed it, we pushed up. So this right here is the point where either if we get above, let me make this larger. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get this video pretty quick, so I'm talking fast. If we get above this point and hold above 28,272, then I'm going to have to accept that this probably has a lot more upside. And just to show you why, and again, this blue ring is that ring I said when we crossed it, we get a pump. And the reason for this is because every time we cross one of these blue rings, we always pump. Notice we crossed the blue ring here, we pumped. We crossed this blue ring here, we pumped. We crossed it here, we pumped. And that's why I expected us to cross, when we cross this ring, we push up. But I did say a sucker's rally. If we weren't in a high inflation and high interest rate environment right now, when we crossed this ring, I would have said it was the start of the bull run. But because of how markets are right now, that's why I said sucker's rally. But if you notice, there's a white fib circle on this chart as well. And I just want to show you how accurate this fib circle has been. If you'll notice, right here was resistance, right? And let me give you another arrow here. You notice this was support. So we got rejected, we came back up, we broke above it, it became support. Notice right here, it was support. Up here, it was resistance. Same thing happened over here. We tested this white ring as resistance, then we broke above it and we continued up. Well, this is that next fib circle, and this chart is on the weekly. It's not a coincidence that price pushed up and stopped right at this white ring. And again, you can see every time a candle opens, it opens right below this ring. We wick above it, come back down. Candle opened below, we wicked above it, came right back down. So as long as we are below, and again, you can see that there's wicks, but basically this ring, the next weekly candle open, if we are below 27,600, then the candle will be opening below this ring. If we hold above, just like I showed you these previous, this white fib circle, these previous rings, if we get above, right, if we get above this ring, well, then that ring flips as support and we push higher. If we stay below this point, then I think it's likely we have some downside, and this is just historically going back looking at these white fib circles. And it's very possible, again, and I'm just trying to show you how this works. Every time we cross one of these blue rings, we pump, right? That's how I knew that we'd get a pump when we cross this blue ring. So wherever price is, so let's say that we have an epic crash with the markets and we come down, right? So if we have a major drop, we stay below this point, any point we cross this ring, this is a point you want to long, because every time we've crossed one of these blue rings in this fib circle, we always pump. So if we get above, right, so if we get above this point, we know that this would be bullish, right? This would flip as support. What happens when you cross the blue ring? You get a pump. It does not matter when you make contact. When you hit this blue ring, you go long. So again, this is the point we're watching. Let me get another price label here. If we get above this point and hold as support, 27,500 looks like that's the general area on the weekly, then this has a lot more upside. If we cannot get above this and we continue down, then we're looking at a lot of downside, guys. I just want to point that out. This here is the M1 chart. You can see your current support right now to pay attention to is 27,660, around that area. This blue line right here, it's been a lot of resistance. Resistance, resistance. We pushed up, tested it again as resistance. That is now your support. So as long as you're holding around 27,600, you might as well be long. But just know that when that breaks and becomes resistance, we're looking at some possible downside. This indicator here is turning red. You can see the RSI here, while it is low, which could hint to some upside, it does look like it's starting to curl over, and you can see the MACD is way overextended. So again, I'm just saying it looks like it's possible to have some downside, but I'm showing you the key points to pay attention to. The DXY is at support. You can see right here. Let me bring this to the front. You can see it was support back here. We dropped below it just a bit at 101, so we're at support. We tested it here at 101.84, and we tested it again. So it's possible the DXY is looking at some upside. DXY up means the markets and Bitcoin down. Your current key support resistance levels to pay attention to. So in the beginning of this video, I told you that I was short. It was because of this line on the H1 and A1 chart. So your current most, if we did get one hell of a push up, I would definitely short 29,200. Your current resistance right now is 28,026. Your current support is 27,800. Like I said in the other chart, 27,800 is a very key support level. If we do break below 27,800, your next support level to watch is 27,200. We have a horizontal line that'll be a support. And you can see this right here was resistance, resistance, a lot of resistance here, so this will also flip as support. So pay attention to 27,200. Guys, if you want to sign up and get access to Discord and get access to the charts, the website is opticalcrypto.com. The link's pinned in the first comment description. And I have tutorials teaching my method to learn how to create these charts. So just to recap really quick, guys. If we get above, if we stay above 27,800 and we break above this resistance, that is bullish up to 28,200 to 28,500. If we break below 27,800 and that becomes resistance, we're looking at a lot of downside. And as I mentioned, if we get above, again, this is a very key resistance level. If we get above 27,600 around that area and that holds as support, then we're looking at a lot more upside. In the meantime, if we stay below this point, I think the probability is that we have a lot more downside. That's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.